Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Farmstead. Can I tell y'all, it's 75 degrees out here. Whoa, it really feels like spring. It's amazing. We had 3 inches of rain drop on the garden last night, and I'm so excited. So excited. But I wanted to talk to you today because it feels wonderful. I mean, we did just come out of 115 degree weather, so it feels wonderful. It's got me invigorated. All the animals are up and moving around. They're enjoying this weather. But there's some important topics we need to cover, guys. What garden and homestead chores should you be doing in July to prepare for fall and winter? Because we prepare now for what's coming. Even though we're living in this moment, we need to be looking towards tomorrow. So today's video is going to focus on helping get you and myself going in the right direction. Okay, number 1, go ahead and get your seeds for your fall and winter gardens, all right? Not only that, be looking, when you're out and about, be looking for plants that are technically what you would call summer plants that are on sale that you can take home and baby. You can repot, you can baby them, and you can pop them in the ground to go into your fall garden. It's a great way to save money and to get some variety back into your garden for the fall. Now moving on, second thing, pest control. You need to get out there every single morning, guys, or late evening. Check every plant for pests. See what's going on in your garden. See where the aphids are. Find out how bad the squash vine borer is getting your pumpkins. Go back into the AC, make a game plan. How are you gonna tackle those pests? Don't get discouraged, just get a game plan, all right? So fall is really pest season. You really need to be out in that garden every day, just doing a visual check through. The next thing, check your irrigation system. We found 2 problems with ours here really recently. We found out that one of the ends down here by the corn had been torn and it was gushing water out. So when I would turn the irrigation on, the hoses past that drip irrigation, that line of it wasn't getting any water because all of the pressure was going out that end. And it took me a couple weeks to figure that out. Go figure. Check your irrigation systems, even if you're just using water hoses and sprinklers. Look at everything, inspect it, turn it on, watch it, look for leaks, look for splits. You'd be amazed how hot that sun is on all that irrigation tape, drip line, water hoses. It can bust it, destroy it, and you won't even know until it's winter and you pull it up. So don't let that get past you. Moving on, if you have livestock, you need to be inspecting their dwellings this month. What do I mean? You need to go into the dwelling carefully. If you have things piled up, move it away from the walls. You're looking for venomous snakes, venomous spiders. You're looking for things that are hiding in the dark corners, okay? You're looking for holes in the ground, which would be rats, which would be mice, would be anything that might bring disease to your livestock or eat their young. See, I have rabbits and chickens, so I have to worry about snakes and rats getting into their housing. This is really that month to do it, okay? So really get proactive, get into the livestock dwellings, look for hornet's nest, look for yellow jackets in the ground around the outside, check the roofs for leaks. What a terrible thing to be inside, you know, a cage or a building and have water consistently dripping on you. So this is that month. Get in there, check your livestock dwellings, do what you need to do to fix it. Because believe it or not, winter is coming. Ooh, winter's coming, guys. All right, now, here's a fun one. Start planning your fall and winter gardens. Start now. I know it's hot. I know that you're thinking the summer's never gonna end, saying, somebody's gonna find me dead in my garden from heat stroke. That's a slim possibility, okay? You're gonna be able to plant your fall and winter gardens, but you are gonna have to get on top of that now, because before you know it, the seeds or the transplants are gonna be needed to go in the ground to get that harvest in. So you need to plan accordingly get inside and start daydreaming. It's almost time for those fall gardens. You need to prune heavy. All right, you really need to prune your vegetables that are in the garden, in the soil, or in pots right now. You need to prune heavy. Let's go out there. I'm going to show you why. You guys can see the damage here from the squash vine borer. Look at this, right? Now look at this. It's no longer attached where it came out of the ground. And this was attached to this. But follow this. Follow it. Follow it. Look at it. Look what's on it. All right? It reattached itself to the ground off the main stem that is broken and destroyed, and it is actually growing a pumpkin. Prune heavy, guys. Get in here. Get some airflow to your plants. Look at the length of the stem. Look at this. See it? Look where the pumpkin is. See where the squash vine borer is attacking it, but it's still producing food. And the reason is, I prune heavy. I get all the leaves that are not needed off of my plants so that they can handle squash vine borer attacks. Okay, you can see here, I pruned the melatonin heavy because it was growing so big and it was starting to have some nutrient deficiency. So I pruned everything off that I didn't need on this plant so the plant could get itself straight. Squash, cucumber, pumpkin, watermelon, some tomatoes, your bell peppers, those plants should all continue, okra, to give you food from the time they begin bearing fruit until either disease or cold kills them. So if they're not, you need to go out there and just look at them and decide what you can do to give them supportive care, okay? A lot of times it's simply pruning all the dead stuff off so the plant can focus on giving you more fruits and vegetables. Now, harvest often. This is something when I first became a gardener I was not good at, that my dad encouraged me to do, and now I'm going to encourage you to do. When a plant has pods, like say okra, you leave the okra on there for weeks and weeks and weeks because you forgot to harvest, you didn't have time. You go out there, you harvest all that off, but the okra won't produce anymore. The reason is a plant is a pretty smart living thing, and once its seeds or its young have been produced to a mature size and left on the plant long enough, then that plant believes that it is done making babies. Sounds a little confusing, but it's the truth. Prune often, harvest often, harvest often, and your plant will continue to produce fruits and vegetables because it's trying to save its genetic material. So it's trying to get its seeds out into the world, and if you keep picking them right before they hit 100% maturity and taking them off the plant never gets the signal that says, hey, we have shared our DNA and we can stop producing. That is how people continue to get food for long periods of time on plants, is they harvest often, daily. They check their plants and they're taking food off of it daily, okay? That's the key. Now, this is the time of year you need to sharpen your lawnmower blades. Sharpen your blades. Check out all your weed eaters. Check your sprayers. Make sure they are working. I don't use sprayers for pesticides and that nonsense, but I use them in my garden a lot at this time of year. So today's the day I'm gonna go out there and fill them with water, pump them, make sure they're spraying, clean them out. Takes a lot, guys. It takes a lot to be successful what you're doing. But if you'll apply these 10 simple to-dos, it will make your life easier, okay? Now, if your winter is mild enough, you can start getting your plans drawn up and your materials gathered for your building activities. Okay, now we build out In the winter, usually it's like 38 degrees, occasionally hit 17, but it's above freezing, and it's much better than working in 115 degree weather. So in winter, we do all of our building out, the majority of it. So get your plans done, get your daydreaming on paper. It's almost time. Last one, number 10, to get your vegetable side dressing, organic fertilization down. For me, July is a month that I fill up buckets full of rabbit manure and worm castings, and I go plant to plant in this 1/4 acre market garden. Usually takes me about 4 days, because I'm not working at 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock or even 3 o'clock where it's 100+ degrees out here. I'll pass out. So I start really early. I put a handful of poop on each side of my plants, cover it back up with a mulch, and I continue down the row. It's a lot of rows, it's a lot of garden, takes a lot of time. But about 3 weeks later, my plants tell me thank you by growing another foot, by looking a little greener. This is also the month that if you use worm tea or make your own, it is time to apply it to your plants to help with heat stress. Guys, I'm telling you, if you will do these 10 simple things, you will find that your life is going to be a little bit easier, that your garden produces a little bit more, that's a little greener, it's a little healthier, and that you don't feel so stressed out. When you're starting in homesteading, farmsteading, or gardening, there's always something to do, and a lot of times we don't know it's time to do it. Like, who's going to tell you that if you don't have a Pawpaw Sammy, or you don't have a really strong group of people rowing in your boat? Who's going to tell you that it's time to do it? So if you have some more suggestions for other people, put it in here. Tell them your secrets. What do you do in July to keep your garden growing, to keep your homestead functioning? What is it you're doing in this month to be successful? Share that with us. We would be so thankful. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for rowing in our boats. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share our videos. Thank you for watching Starkey Farmstead.